On July 25th, 2025, Deputy Jesse Raymond of the St. Joseph County Sheriff's Office in Michigan issued a citation to driver Jasmine Adair for a violation of Section 257.643 of the Michigan Compiled Laws, which makes it a civil infraction for the operator of a motor vehicle to follow another vehicle more closely than is reasonable and prudent given the speed of the vehicles, traffic, and highway conditions. On August 1st, 2025, Ms. Adair contested the ticket through her counsel, Paul Spaniolo, and the case was scheduled for an informal hearing before Judge Jeffrey Middleton in the 3B District Court on December 3rd, 2025. Mr. Espaniol represented Ms. Adair at the hearing, and Assistant Prosecuting Attorney Abigail Stoll appeared on behalf of the state.
Can't sleepwalk through these. And when you come to court, you should review your police report. You should review the ticket. You should review the video. All right, this is a formal hearing in the matter of Jasmine Ray Adair. The charge alleges a violation of MCL 257643 under the Motor Vehicle Code for following too closely. As I indicated, this is a civil infraction. I believe it carries 2 points. And it does carry, I believe, a $120 fine. Assistant Prosecuting Attorney Abigail Stoll is here with her Officer Jesse Raymond. The jurat is signed. We're ready to proceed. Madam Prosecutor?
I'll waive opening argument.
Okay, certainly. We don't need any. Are you ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. You may call your witness.
I'll call Deputy Raymond to the stand.
Good morning, sir. Do you swear or affirm any testimony you're about to give in this matter will be true to the best of your knowledge and belief?
I do.
Thank you. Have a seat. Would you state your name for the record, please?
Deputy Jesse Raymond.
And spell your first and last name.
JESSERAYMOND.
All right. Ms. Stoll.
Deputy Raymond, where are you employed?
St. Joseph County Sheriff's Office.
How long have you worked there?
Just under 6 years.
What do you do?
Primarily now I'm covering complaint vehicle, meaning I take complaints on the road. I also conduct traffic stops.
Do you have any other experience in law enforcement?
Outside of the Sheriff's Office, no, but I do have other assignments.
Were you on patrol on July 25th of 2025?
Yes, sir.
What shift?
I was on the day shift. I was assigned to the traffic unit.
What was the general location where you were at?
I was traveling southbound on 131. I was south of Three Rivers. I was just approaching Drummond Road.
All right. Did you see something that caught your attention?
There's moderate traffic that day. I did notice two vehicles that were very close together.
Could you describe the vehicle that was following?
I don't recall.
What did you do after that?
So I had my radar unit activated. I clocked the lead vehicle going approximately 60 miles an hour. I saw the following vehicle was traveling quite close as they passed by. I estimated to be about a car length behind. I turned around at that intersection and it took me about a half mile to catch up. I caught up to him just before Gleason Road where I conducted a traffic stop.
I'm sorry, forgive me. I'm a little hard of hearing. I didn't catch the tail end of what the witness just stated.
You caught up half a mile at Gleason Road, and then you said something else.
That's where I conducted the traffic stop. It was just south of Gleason, northbound.
Thank you.
And then what did you do after that?
I made contact with Ms. Adair. I explained the reason for the traffic stop. Got her license, registration, insurance, and issued a citation.
Is Miss Adair in the courtroom?
Yes, she is.
Could you describe something she's wearing and point her out, please?
She's wearing gold frame glasses and a black shirt.
Let the record reflect that the officers identified the defendant.
It may.
And then did you write Miss Adair a ticket?
Yes, I did.
What for?
For following too closely.
In your experience, was that a reasonable length to keep?
No, I have considerable experience, particularly with traffic crashes where there's rear end collisions. Almost all of those cases, it's a matter of either following too closely or they're unable to stop in a short period of distance.
Objection. I don't think there's a foundation laid for his expertise as being an expert with traffic crashes.
Well, all right. We can establish that.
Mr. Spaniolo objects to Deputy Raymond providing an opinion as to traffic crashes, arguing that sufficient so-called foundation has not been laid for his expertise. And Judge Milton responds by directing Ms. Stoll to ask Deputy Raymond additional questions before the court makes a ruling. Under Rule 702 of the Michigan Rules of Evidence, a witness may offer quote-unquote expert opinion testimony only if the witness is qualified by knowledge, skill, experience, training, or education, and if the testimony is based on sufficient facts or data, is the product of reliable principles and methods, and reflects a reliable application of those principles and methods to the facts of the case. In that context, the term foundation refers to the preliminaries showing the proponent of expert testimony must make for the court to allow the witness to give expert opinion testimony. On the other hand, Rule 701 of the Michigan Rules of Evidence allows a non-expert witness to offer a quote-unquote lay opinion that is rationally based on the witness's own perceptions and helpful to understanding the witness's testimony or determining a fact and issue. So when Judge Milton told Ms. Stoll to inquire further about Deputy Raymond's qualifications, he was essentially asking the prosecution to build an evidentiary record so that he could determine whether the testimony was admissible as a limited experience-based explanation of why the citation was issued, or whether it crossed into expert testimony territory that would require a more formal showing of expertise.
We can establish that. He indicated he'd been an officer 6 years and then traffic enforcement. Madam Prosecutor, would you inquire further about his qualifications in this area?
Deputy Raymond, do you have any sort of special training or experience in traffic accidents?
Just academy training and then just routine experience with traffic crashes. I respond to and investigate crashes as a traffic unit, also as a complaint deputy.
How often do you respond to these accidents and complaints?
I would say on a weekly basis over the last 5.5 years.
How many citations do you think you've actually written?
I couldn't give you a number.
Over hundreds? This is a civil infraction, and he's given his opinion regarding this circumstance. I think he's qualified in the context of a traffic enforcement officer, certainly not an accident reconstructionist or anything, but I'll allow the testimony regarding his opinion about why he wrote this citation.
Thank you, Judge.
You said that you were traveling on US 31 southbound?
Objection asked and answered.
We're just getting back into it. Yeah, it's 131.
Shortly
Go
after
ahead.
Judge Milton allows Deputy Raymond to offer a lay opinion explaining why he wrote the ticket, Ms. Stoll rests the state's case without admitting any body camera footage into evidence. And Mr. Spaniolo is given the opportunity to cross-examine Deputy Raymond on Ms. Adair's behalf.
31. Go ahead.
Where were you located when you stopped the defendant?
We were on US 131 traveling northbound. We were just south of Leeson Road.
In what township?
That's Fabius Township.
In St. Joseph County, Michigan?
Correct.
Thank you. Nothing further.
Morning, Deputy. I'm going to ask you some questions. If anytime during me asking the questions, if you don't understand or it's not clear, feel free to ask me to clarify. Deputy, you testified that you were the one who stopped my client, Miss Adair, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so you recognized her?
Yes.
Okay, but didn't you just testify you didn't know what kind of car she was driving?
Correct.
Okay. Would it help if I showed you the ticket to refresh your recollection?
Yes.
Okay. May I approach, Judge?
Yes.
For, I guess, the jurette? Let me know when you're done looking at the ticket. Is your memory refreshed?
I have the citation for a 2012 Toyota. I don't remember the model of the vehicle. I do remember the Indiana registration.
Would you disagree with me if I told you it was a Toyota Prius?
No.
Okay. So when you testified for the people, you stated that you were going in the opposite direction, right?
Correct.
And you just testified that my client was driving a Toyota. Do you know what the vehicle was that was in front of her?
I don't recall.
Okay. Would you have any reason to doubt me if I said it was a GMC pickup?
No.
Okay. But you did catch the distance between that vehicle and my client?
Correct.
Okay. And you remember that there was one car length?
Correct.
Okay. Did you provide any video recordings to the people? Like body wear cam or dash cam?
I did not. I don't know if my clerk's did or not.
Okay. So would it surprise you if it was provided? Okay. And do you recall what you said to Ms. Adair when you approached her vehicle?
Yes, I do.
Can you share with me what you said?
Yeah. So I asked her for her license, registration, and insurance, which she provided me. I informed her that she was following the vehicle in front of her too closely. I told her that they were traveling close to the speed limit, and given that speed, that was too close to be following the vehicle in front of her.
Would you doubt me if I just stated that you stated at the time that the courts have found that you need to be traveling one car length per 10 miles per hour?
I did say that to her, not as a.
What authority are you relying on for that statement? When I say authority, legal authority.
I was using it as an education piece.
So you just made it up?
No, I did not.
Okay, well, where'd you get it from?
I don't recall.
Okay. So you read this, you're familiar with the statute, right?
So
And what does it use?
you must be no closer than reasonable and prudent to the vehicle.
Reasonable, prudent person. Are you familiar with, you're familiar with the state of Michigan Secretary of State, right? Okay. Are you familiar with a publication that they put out called What Every Driver Must Know?
I'm familiar with it. I don't recall any text in it.
Would you doubt me if I said it doesn't say anything about a car length for every 10 miles? Okay. I'll help you. It doesn't.
Objection, Your Honor. Hearsay.
Well, the officer accepted the answer that he accepted that he is familiar with that publication, which every Michigan driver has to review before they take their driver test. I'll allow it. It's not damaging really either way.
As a matter of fact, well, let me back up. Would you doubt me if that publication takes into account what is considered the reasonable distance between two traveling vehicles? Okay, would you doubt me if it says that you need to take into
Ms. Stoll objects to Mr. Spanolo's reference to the Michigan Secretary of State publication, What Every Driver Must Know is Hearsay, and Judge Milton overrules the objection under Rule 801 of the Michigan Rules of Evidence. Hearsay is an out-of-court statement offered to prove the truth of what it asserts. And under Rule 802, hearsay is generally inadmissible unless an exception applies. Here, however, Mr. Spanolo's question is best understood as non-H hearsay impeachment because he was not trying to introduce the publication's contents as substantive proof. He was using the publication as a reference point to challenge Deputy Raymond's roadside claim that the courts have found a specific car length rule and to show that the deputy cannot identify a reliable source for that purported standard. Put differently, the value of the exchange does not turn on whether the publication is true, but on the lack of support for Deputy Raymond's asserted rule of thumb, making the reference to the publication not hearsay.
You need to take into account the vehicles, the drivers, condition of the road, weather conditions. Okay. You interestingly didn't testify to, you talked about moderate traffic, but do you remember the weather conditions that day?
Yep.
Okay, what were they?
It was a clear day, dry roadway.
There was no rain, was there? Okay, and do you know that you recall on the side that my client was driving on, how many vehicles were traveling? About the time that you witnessed these two vehicles going down that road. I'm sorry.
Specific number, I don't recall.
If I played the video, would you doubt me that it was just that vehicle and her vehicle? Okay. As a matter of fact, on your side where you were traveling, where you said you witnessed the cars traveling too close to each other, there was a lot more traffic, or as you said, moderate traffic. Would you doubt me? Okay. Did you notice that, or do you strike that? When you came up behind my client, did you notice the, I guess, double lines, dotted lines in the roadway?
At the location of the traffic stop, I believe it would have been a double line, but I don't recall.
You don't know if my client was attempting to pass that vehicle either, do you? You didn't ask her, did you?
I had turned around and followed the vehicle for approximately half a mile.
Okay.
I'm gonna inject myself a little bit.
I'm sorry, Judge.
I'm gonna inject myself into this to add some context. On the map, run 131 looks like it runs flat, straight, north and south. Is that correct?
It's a relatively hilly section.
Well, that's what I'm gonna ask. It's actually on what's known as the Big Hill. Is that correct? 131 and Drummond Road is on what's known as the Big Hill between Three Rivers and Constantine. Is that correct?
I'm not familiar with the term.
You're not? Okay. Anyway, it's a big hill and it's common. Well, maybe I'm too old, but there have been many, many accidents there. One time we had two drunk drivers hit each other on the big hill and they were both killed. Anyway, was this on the hill?
A portion of the observation period was, yes.
Okay, so this is a big hill. And so they're both going up the hill at that point. Is that correct?
They had gone up the hill and I had stopped them after descending down.
Okay. All right, thanks.
Anything else, Judge? I'm sorry.
No, I don't know if you've been there, but
Unfortunately, I'm not familiar with.
at any rate, it's on the big hill, and apparently we're headed uphill, and then he stopped them as they headed down.
If I played the video of you turning around, well, is your video activated? It's not running all the time, right, Deputy?
It's running, but it only pre-records a certain time frame before it's activated.
Okay, because it was shared with me, the video, but it wasn't shared of, I guess, where you felt that the car lengths were too close. But I got a video that shows you stopping the vehicle. I don't know if it would help the court making a decision if the people don't object. I mean, I'll play the video.
Well, I was hopeful they would play it.
I'm kind of a little surprised, but they can present their case any way they want.
Yes. Yeah, you can present the video to the officer. We have a way to do it.
I'm not technical. I mean, I could set this up there and you can look at it.
Well, we have a way to play it on the big screen. Although I'm not sure any of us are technically at depth enough to plug it in.
And just so I'm making a record here, Your Honor. The video that I have that was shared with me just reflects the stop. I don't think it actually reflects what the deputy testified to what he witnessed when he was coming the other way. So I don't want you to go through all this laborious effort.
All right, so it doesn't show the actual.
It shows him doing a U-turn and coming up behind the two vehicles, my client being the closer one to him. It doesn't show what with Deputy
Raymond.
James testified to what he witnessed when he was coming the other way. That's why I asked him about if his camera was activated at that time. If there is footage of that, it wasn't shared with me.
What are we seeing here, officer?
So I believe at this time I had already turned around. I was traveling northbound.
Okay.
Like he said, you can't see in the video the time that they initially passed me due to the latency in the activation of my recording.
So you're going down the hill at this point. Is it alleged that she's following too closely at this point?
Yes.
Yes.
Traffic stop. Civil infraction or traffic violation. US 131/Leeson RD Phineas Township.
So this, you can't, I don't believe you can hear anything. The body work camera, this is just a stop, Judge and Madam Prosecutor. If you want to hear the body wear camera about the car length thing. So this is the stop. This is the video of the body camera.
Thank you. 7526 traffic stop. Indiana commemorative White George X-ray 233 BGX 233. Hello, how are we doing? Wonderful. Do you have your license registration? Pardon the traffic. The reason I stopped you and the vehicle in front of you guys were both going about the speed limit. You were right on his tail, so you got to have a little bit of space off a little more coverage. Rule of thumb, there's not really any number on it specifically. The courts have found that about one car length for every 10 miles an hour. So you really should have been 5 or 6 car lengths back behind him at the least. So, okay. You got interest in the vehicle?
Okay. Thank you for indulging me, Judge.
Thank you. That certainly didn't translate very well to the live stream, but they could hear it and I could see the video. I didn't see what was going on the way up the hill, but I could see what was going on the way down the hill. All right. Any further questions for this officer?
No. Thank you, though. Thank you, Deputy. Appreciate it.
Ms. Stoll, do you have any further questions for the officer? Do you have any questions for the officer?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you. You can step down. Any further witnesses?
No.
All right. Mr. Spinolio, do you wish to call the defendant?
Judge, if you're prepared to make a decision, and being mindful of the court's docket, if you're prepared, I'll waive presenting my client. I mean, the video speaks for itself. I think that the facts, what the deputy said,
Thank you. I'm disappointed in that. The prosecutor didn't play the video. Have you even viewed it? Have you seen it before?
I saw it, Your Honor.
Okay. Well, I would have liked to have seen it as part of the prosecution case because she's right on his tail. The video sunk your boat. You're doing pretty good because they hadn't even looked at the ticket or know what kind of vehicle it was, and his testimony was unclear, and it wasn't clear where it was. It's on the biggest hill in St. Joseph County. But you were right on his tail. I don't know where you were going up the hill, but going down the hill right up until the stop, you were right on his bumper. And it's not a place to pass. Passing is prohibited there for quite some time, going up the hill and down the hill. What the statute actually says, the officer says, the rule of thumb is you should give 1 car length for every 10 miles an hour. That is a quote unquote rule of thumb. We've heard it on television commercials and other thing. It isn't in the statute anywhere. What the statute says, the officer quoted it pretty well. The driver of a vehicle shall not follow another vehicle more closely than is reasonable and prudent, having due regard for the speed of the vehicles and the traffic upon and the condition of the highway. So this is a 2-lane highway. It's a state highway with a center line on a large hill, and passing is prohibited going up the hill and down the hill. The speed limit there is 55. He testified that he thought the first car, which he couldn't remember what it was, if he looked at the video, maybe he could have discerned it, was going 60. The ticket says she was following lead vehicle, 1 car length, going 57 miles per hour. This is a civil infraction. You can't go to jail for a civil infraction. And you don't have the right to proof beyond a reasonable doubt. You have a right to proof beyond a preponderance of the evidence, which is a much easier standard for the prosecutor to meet. It means just barely more than the other side. So I was trying to figure this out, but as soon as I saw the video, in my impression, you were too close behind that truck. So I find that you're responsible for following too closely, and I'm gonna fine you $120. You can pay that today, or I'll give you 30 days to pay it if you need it. Or do you want to pay it today, or you want me to give you an envelope to pay it? All right. We don't have enough trials for young officers to learn that they're going to be subjected to cross-examination. And when a competent attorney comes in and asks questions and makes appropriate objections, it's a lot harder than some layperson trying to do the best they can. So the point being, when you come to court, you should review your police report, you should review the ticket, you should review the video. The video should have been presented, but I'm not doing your case. The defendant actually provided it, which gave the court proof beyond a preponderance that she violated the statute, but can't sleepwalk through these. This defendant came prepared, but I did find the violation. So you can go out to the counter, pay the $120. This will go on your Michigan and eventually Indiana driving record. It's not exactly the crime of the century, but you were too close to the car ahead of you, in my view, after watching the video. All right. We'll be in recess.
Judge Milton found that Ms. Adair was responsible for the civil infraction of following too closely based on the body camera footage that her own attorney introduced, and stated during the hearing that he was fining her $120. However, court records show that she was assessed a fine of only $110, which she paid on the same date as the informal hearing, and the case was closed a few days later. This hearing demonstrates that even a minor civil infraction hearing can become a serious test of preparation, credibility, and evidence presentation. After Judge Middleton watched the body camera footage, he found that Ms. Adair was responsible for following too closely under preponderance standard. But he also used his ruling to deliver a broader warning about how these so-called minor cases should be handled. He admonished Deputy Raymond for coming to court seemingly without having reviewed the ticket, his report, or the available video, explaining that a prepared defense attorney will expose those weaknesses almost immediately. He also faulted Ms. Stoll for resting the state's case without introducing the body camera footage in the first place, particularly when the video was the most direct evidence of the following distance near the time of the stop. And the most striking procedural takeaway is that the evidence Judge Milton relied on to find Ms. Adair responsible did not come from the prosecution at all. It came from the defense. Mr. Spinolo introduced the footage during cross-examination, and while he used it to attempt to undermine his quote-unquote rule of thumb for how close a vehicle can follow, the video ultimately led to Judge Milton's conclusion that Ms. Adair was in fact following too closely, giving him the proof he needed to find her responsible. In the end, this case shows that even when the parties involved in a case fall short of their responsibilities, the court remains bound to its fundamental duty to evaluate the evidence placed before it, resolve disputed facts, and pursue the truth with the seriousness the process demands. Let us know if there's a case or courtroom interaction that you'd like us to explore in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe so we can help foster a more informed society.